I think that's something a lot of comedians overlook is we are a business.
Yes.
More than like an artist now. We're more like a business, and it's show business, and they're two full-time jobs, and it can be hard to be proficient at both.
Yeah, it's hard to be proficient at both, but you are an artist, but the art's on the stage.
Right.
Everything else is a business. Mm-hmm. You have to be professional. Don't get too drunk. Every time you go to a road club and they're like, hey man, we only give comics 2 beers. You know that's because people ruin that.
Yep.
Someone showed up and drank the entire bar and puked all over the green room and harassed a waitress. You're at work.
Right.
I'm not telling you don't have fun. Leave the club. Go have fun. But that's your place to work. You wouldn't be surprised if you acted that way at a job and they fired you. Yeah, that's how it works. And that was also something I learned from being the young guy in a comedy scene that was 10 years older than me when I started in San Diego. Like all the guys were in their 30s, and I was a young guy in his like early 20s, and I would hang out with all these guys, and they would drink until like 2 a.m. or drink until like 4 a.m. It was after the club would close, and we'd be there till 4 in the morning. And I remember having this moment in my head looking at them going like, don't drink like them when you're 30. This is fine at 21. But I think that might be holding them back because they were talented comics, but they were enjoying it too much. And I remember that voice in my head like, this is fine now, but don't do that when you're their age. And that stuck with me. So I tried to be more professional as things started to grow.
So what does the business look like for you now? Like, what is your day-to-day? How intentional about structuring your days, or do you look at data? Like, how do you operate as a business now?
If my wife was here, she would laugh so hard.
She's
because she would be like, I'm
she's
the
the
most
chief operating officer.
No, she should be.
Yeah.
But she would be like, dude, you are so disorganized. You need a planner. Because I'm one of those guys where like now, sometimes week of, I'll be like, I didn't buy a flight. I need to get a flight. Well, what? There's no rental cars? Oh my God.
Okay.
And, yeah, so if anything, I'm still that's why I don't want all this stuff that I'm saying. Some people might watch and go, wow, he's very organized and all this. I'm still also a giant mess in organization. I'm just like professional in person. In person, I'm very professional. I'll do a good job. I won't drink too much and blah, blah, blah. But when I'm like off to my own devices, like I'm not doing any of this stuff. And so I wait till the last second until finally my manager messaged me for the 5th time, like, hey man, did you see this? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm into it.
Hilarious.
So I'm still like a disorganized mess of a person, but now there's like people around that really help with that. So I kind of let go a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Which is good.
So you have a team. Your team is what helps all that.
Yeah, and they do a lot of that. We look at numbers. Like, we see growth on ticket sales and social media and stuff. And like, hey, last time you were at this town, you sold this much, and this time you sold this much. And you're like, that's all. I mean, just spending a weekend in Atlanta. This is my third or fourth time performing in Atlanta, and the other 3 times we were doing one-nighters at different venues.
Wow.
Because I couldn't sell enough tickets to suffice a weekend. But now we can. So now, even though, that's why it's like I'm making that joke. Yes, the comedy club isn't a diner, but there's a long road to get to that damn diner.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because it was a 100-seater, and then the next night I'm in Savannah. But after doing that for a couple of years now, I can do at least a weekend, and that incremental growth is there. It's little boop, boop. We're getting there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, congrats, man. It's so cool to see someone just stick with it. Because, I mean, I've been doing it almost 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's just cool to see people just keep going. And also being honest about what you want as well.
Yes.
I don't think I'm as disciplined or intentional about, well, what exactly do I want? What does the ideal future look like? And then how can I start moving in that direction more intentionally?
I wouldn't have had the time to even realize that I didn't want what I had if the pandemic didn't happen. Because it put such a pause. In 2018, 2019, I was gone all the time. My best friend was my next door neighbor. My childhood best friend, Dane, he rented the studio apartment next to me. And someone hit him up and was like, hey, how's Zoltan doing? He's like, dude, I barely see that guy. He's my next door neighbor. He's gone. And that really put it into perspective of how much I'm gone, that my best friend / next door neighbor doesn't even see me. And so it doesn't give you enough time to even realize that you love what you do and you're happy you're a professional comedian, but at the same time you're like, I'm not stoked about how this is going. And thankfully the pandemic made it stop, made me realize I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And then having a wife that's like, why don't we sit down and actually do something about this, so that we head to a direction that's more positive.
So you wrote down what you want, what you don't want.
Yes, and how to get the things I want.
And then how to get what you want.
Yeah.
And then you just like put it on the wall and you just stare
it was
at
a piece of paper. It was a web. If I remember it right, I think I still have the piece of paper. My wife put out this thing. She's like, don't. It's stupid, but just do it. And she was right. You do this box of what you want, and then you trail off to the other things that you need to get this, and then you trail off to how do you get that thing to get that thing to get this thing. And so we put out, I want to sell my own tickets and be on tour. Oh, you got to get venues, you got to sell tickets, you need advertising, you need to string together a tour, you got to block together cities that make sense. And then so we did all those boxes, and she helped me with my advertising. She was such a big help to the whole thing. And also just keeping my mind right, because you look at that much work as a comedian and you're like, I don't want to do, this is so much work, I don't want to do any of that. But you stick with it.
Right.
And you're like, all right, I'll send this other email, beg every venue in Milwaukee to book you, or whatever city you're trying to do. And eventually it kind of starts falling together. And then eventually, thank God, Surf Dog, that's my management company, they were such a big help. They took a look and they noticed what I was doing, and they're like, we'd love to help if we can. And they have been a huge help. They got me an agent. They've really like helped me grow everything. So all those little pieces have been adding up.
Well, you mentioned not even seeing your neighbor. What about your wife? Now that you're busier and busier,
right?
How are you balancing that?
Well, my wife and I met in 2019, so it was during the busy time. But we didn't really start dating till later 2019, like the fall. And then 2020 pandemic, we got to spend a lot of time together.
Right.
It's not fun to think about if the pandemic didn't happen. I don't know if that relationship would have worked out, just because I would have been gone all the time. And she's busy with her own business, so it would have been really hard coordinating the schedules. But now that I'm on the road a lot, I'm home on the weekdays, gone a lot on the weekends. She likes to come to the city she wants to go to, so we turn those into trips. And I always try to make sure I prioritize, I could probably do a better job, but I do try to prioritize family time when I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. So when I'm home, I don't go do other things. I like going to my boxing gym, I do that, hang out with my wife, I see my family, but I don't do comedy stuff when I'm not on the road doing comedy.
So you're intentional about separating those worlds when you
Very
need to.
intentional.
Yeah.
I keep comedy, I love it, and it's my line of work, and I never want to do anything else. And I would do it even if I didn't get paid, and I had to get a day job just because I love doing it. But I have my friends in comedy, but I also have my close, even closer people, and so I have very close friends in comedy, and then I have acquaintances in comedy. Mm-hmm. And I know some comics that their entire world is comedians, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It doesn't work for me. I like being around people that don't do anything that I do. It's different perspectives. Because if I'm around only comedians, I'm going to be stressed out and angry that some guy doing crowd work sells a bunch of tickets. Whereas when I hang out with my friends that don't do comedy, they don't care or know, and we don't talk about it.
You bring up crowd work clips, they're like, what? What are you talking about? In comedy, we're all like, crowd work clips, but outside of comedy, people are like, what are you talking about? There's a war? Yeah. I love hanging out with comics, but I also really enjoy not hanging out with comics. That's why I like doing this on the weekends. We'll go hang out at a diner for a couple hours, chat with everybody, hilarious stories, fun times. But during the week, I don't want to do that. Yeah.